The disappearing heirloom. I never thought a Sunday could unravel everything I believed about my family. But that morning, as I sipped my coffee and scrolled through emails, I noticed it. The old heirloom, the silver locket my grandmother had given us, was gone. Completely gone. Not misplaced, not tucked into some drawer, it had vanished. At first I panicked. It wasn't just jewelry, it was history, our family's tangible memory, passed down from my grandmother to my mother, then to us. I checked the usual places. My wife's jewelry box, the safe, every drawer I could think of. Nothing. I confronted my wife, Maria, who was calmly arranging flowers in the kitchen. Her brow furrowed, but she shook her head. "I haven't touched it," she said softly. "Are you sure you didn't move it yourself?" I wanted to believe her, but a creeping unease settled in my chest. Whoever took it knew exactly what they were doing. The locket wasn't valuable in a conventional sense. It was priceless because of the stories it carried. I spent the morning retracing my steps from the previous day. Visitors? None. Cleaners? Only the usual Saturday morning crew, polite, routine. But even in the familiarity, something felt off. My mind raced through possibilities, every scenario more improbable than the last. By afternoon, I started noticing the subtle hints. A small scratch on the windowsill, a single footprint in the garden soil, faint but there. The person who had been in our house left evidence, almost like a trail. My pulse quickened. Whoever did this wasn't a thief. They were someone sending a message. I decided to investigate like I used to when I was a journalist. Before life slowed me down, I interviewed everyone who had access to the house. Everyone passed the initial questioning, but there was one thing. My cousin Samuel had visited 2 days prior. Friendly chat, laughter. Then he had lingered near the display shelf longer than necessary. He left without incident, but the memory gnawed at me. That evening I couldn't sleep. I stared at the empty space where the locket once rested, my mind replaying every moment, every guest, every movement. The house was too quiet, too still. A storm was coming. Intuitively I knew it. Then came the text message. No name, no number. Some treasures are meant to be found where you least expect them. My stomach twisted. Someone was playing with me. But why? And what did they want? I checked the surveillance cameras, hoping for clarity. Nothing. At least nothing conclusive. But when I reviewed the timestamps, I noticed a shadow, a figure moving behind the curtains in the guest room. The figure was cautious, deliberate. My pulse spiked. This wasn't random, it was calculated. Determined, I decided to set a trap. I left a note in the display box. If you touch it again, I'll know. And I waited, heart pounding every second, dragging like hours. Around midnight, I heard the faintest creak. Someone was in the room. I held my breath, moving silently toward the door. There she was. Not a thief, not a stranger, but my wife, Maria. Her eyes met mine, wide, guilty, afraid. "I didn't mean to take it," she whispered, holding the locket close. I thought I needed to understand it, to feel what they felt. I wanted to see our history, to connect with it, really connect. Relief and anger collided inside me. She wasn't stealing. She was seeking. Seeking a bridge to the past, to memories that belong to all of us. I stepped closer, placing my hand over hers. "You could have just asked," I said softly. She nodded, tears brimming. I realized then that sometimes, even those we love most take secret paths to understanding. We sat there for hours, opening the locket together, tracing the engraved names and dates. Each one told a story, and together we rediscovered not only our family history, but the depth of trust and support we needed in our relationship. Sometimes I think about that night, how a missing locket taught me more about patience, understanding, and the need to support each other, even when we don't understand each other's methods. Maria and I learned that love isn't just about shared joy, it's about shared discovery, shared curiosity, and shared acceptance. The locket returned to its place, a little worn, a little more meaningful. And so did we, stronger for the night that almost broke us.